Hey, Tom, thank you so much for joining us today. We're here to talk a little bit about 72 Sold and your experience. But before we do that, tell us where you're located, Tom, how long you've been in the real estate business, and anything else about yourself that you'd like to share.
I am with the Spokane KW Market Center. I have been a realtor. It'll be 5 years in May. And I've been with 72 Sold about 8 months.
8 months ago, you kind of started down this road of participating in this 72 Sold program. Tell us how that's gone for you in general, and maybe initially what caused you to participate as a member of 72 Sold.
My wife and I have a second home down in Sun Lakes, which is Chandler, Arizona, that we bought several years ago. And we sneak down there every once in a while. And every time we're down there, we would see Greg Hague, 72 Sold, on TV, pushing 72 Sold, 8.4 to 12% more for your home, billboards all over the place, 72 Sold. And so, intrigued, obviously, being a realtor, I reached out to Greg Hague at 72 Sold and asked if I could come over and talk to him and find out about the program. Really, to be honest with you, Chase, one of the issues that I had, especially in the beginning, becoming a realtor, I was embarrassed to tell people that I was a realtor. All I really did was just facilitate paperwork and the transaction. I never felt like I was making a difference for my sellers. And 72 Sold in their program showed me, through using their program, how I can help that seller benefit greatly by working with me as a 72 Sold KW realtor. So I went from feeling badly about telling people I was a realtor to being super proud about it and saying, hey, you got to see what this program can do. It's fantastic. So that's really how it started for us.
And I don't want to assume here, but some of that was given to you and you felt differently about it because of the training offered by being a member of 72 Sold, right? Walk us through what that actually meant to you and the value that brought, not only the mentality like you shared, but then some of the results that you started to get even in your own business through the training offered.
His training is truly Harvard level training for real estate agents. I guarantee you, if you spend $72 a month, and you jump into this program, you will be absolutely amazed by what you learn. I don't care how long you've been in the business. You'll be absolutely amazed by what you learn in a very short period of time. Now, the cool thing is Greg is so confident in his program and what we do. He's not trying to keep anybody out of it. You could actually go in and get into 72 Sold and go through all the portal and go through all the information, get a bunch of training, and then say, I'm going to turn it off. I don't want to pay for it anymore. And you would learn so much for $72. It's crazy. But he knows that you're not going to want to stop. You're going to want to keep going. My goodness, he does 3 team calls a week. And I tell you, here I am, a national coach. I've learned this stuff backwards and forwards, and I learned something in every single team call every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, the training is phenomenal. You will be a better realtor and you will make more money. If you don't believe me, spend $72 and give it a try.
I know you, Tom. You've been highly engaged in training ever since you got in the business, even at KW. We're proud of the training we offer. And here you are saying in the last 8 months, even, it's been exponential learning and creating that confidence, as you shared, in what you do and the value you bring. And by the way, you were already successfully selling real estate at a really high level before jumping into 72 Sold. I know some are going to be watching this and they're like, okay, Tom, I hear what you're saying. World-class training for $72 a month. I got it. Tell me how this gets me more opportunities for listing homes, because at the end of the day, that's where we feel like the rubber meets the road. How do we use this as a tool for opportunity, right? Leads, if you will. And there's a couple different ways of generating those leads. Talk us through your experience and what those have done for your business.
One of the things that I love about this program is I'm selling a program rather than selling myself. And that sounds like a little thing, but when you have, I think there are 3,200 realtors in Spokane. It is really hard to differentiate yourself. And it's all about the agent rather than about our client, the seller, right? And so you go in and, they're interviewing 5 agents and they're all trying to tell the seller, well, I've done this many sales in the last year. And for a guy like me who is newer to the business, gosh, how do you compete against somebody who's been doing it for 25, 30 years and has 20 times the transactions that I had, right? But I still knew I was a great realtor. Just it was difficult for me to get on the playing field and get a listing, anytime that they would interview more than just me and interview other realtors. Well, with the 72 sold program, I'm not even talking about me. It's not about me. It's about the client. It's about the seller and what I can do through the program for the seller, which is in 5 independent studies from Clear Title Company, number 2 ranked title company in the whole state of Arizona. And they looked at sales of 72 sold homes, so homes using the 72 sold program, versus comparable homes in the same MLS sold the traditional way. Over the 5 independent studies, they've ranged from 8.4 to 12% more money for the seller using the 72 sold program. That's all I needed to know, because now I am important to that seller. This program is important to that seller, and they look at me totally differently. Now I'm there representing this program that's going to help them get 8.4 to 12% more for their home. And I'm not sitting back telling them how great I am and trying to convince them based on how many transactions I've done, which honestly, for the most part, I don't even think they care, right? What they care about is, what are you going to do for me? And that's what this program does.
I love that. So yeah, and I think anytime you can make it about the client, which is exactly what you're saying, then you're a leg up on any other realtor who just wants to talk about themselves, even the good ones, right? Because they're not focusing on the right thing. There's an opportunity for members of 72 Sold, right? They're paying $72 a month. They're getting world-class training. They're getting the backing of this program that's been proven to deliver more money to sellers. And then they have opportunities to generate leads using some of what I think they call the DIY program. Tell us a little bit about this and how maybe you've leveraged that DIY program to generate listings in your market.
So DIY stands for do it yourself. And one of the things that Greg Haig has done for all the $72 a month folks is we have a portal that you get into. It's 72national.com. You pay your $72, you get into this portal. He has an entire area in the portal for DIY marketing. He has FSBO letters. He has expired letters. He has postcards, newspaper ads. He has everything you could think of already printed, ready for you to download and to put your own information on those marketing materials. So he makes it so easy. And then he gives us videos that we can text. So you get to use all this information, and he teaches you, even with the EDDM. He's got a program, EDDM, where postcards get delivered to everybody in your area for a very, very inexpensive cost. And again, he gets the postcards ready for you to do everything with it, print it, get it all done and sent out. And it will generate you business. There is no doubt in my mind, because I've done it myself.
And just for clarity, Tom, and I want to walk back through this just because this is a powerful story. There's a different type of lead, a national ad fund lead that we haven't gotten to yet. And that includes a 25% referral fee back to 72 Sold. But the one you just described, the DIY leads, do not include a 25% referral back to 72 Sold. That's included in the $72 a month membership. You sent out 10 expired letters, which I'm going to guess cost you about $4 in postage and paper and envelopes. You didn't even have to write the letter. You didn't change it one word. It was already done for you, and you get that as part of being a member. Out of only 10 letters, you list one house, you sold it. Would you mind if I asked about what the total commission was on that deal?
It was a $450,000 house, and we get 3%.
Oh, if my math is right, that's $13,500, right? Divided by $72 a month, that's 187 months worth of membership to 72 Sold, which is about 15 years worth. So my point in saying that is, even just that one first listing that you generated from a commission dollar standpoint was a grand slam, worth every penny and then some, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that it did for me, though, is it gave me a ton of confidence in the program, because I got to see and do the program with this client, and we sold the house in 4 days. The clients were amazed, and I was amazed, and I was all in after that point.
Of all the leads that you've generated and gotten being part of 72 Sold, tell us a little bit about how that's gone in general and how that's impacted your personal sales and business thus far. Being part of 72 Sold now for 8 months, how many leads have you gotten and how many listings have you taken and what does all of that look like?
In my coaching group, I've got one person that had got 7 leads, listed all 7 and sold all 7. I've got another gal that had 8 leads and she has not sold or listed even one. Assuming that she's doing the program properly, it's still okay because all we're trying to say is, hey, it takes a while, it takes a certain sample size to get to where we can actually look at some numbers and be able to count on percentages of lead to closing, lead to listing. We're going to end up in that 15 to 18, 15 to 20% range, just like they have down in Phoenix where they've been doing it for 4 years. 72 Sold, you have to sit back and you have to say, what is the message? And will that message resonate with sellers where I live? First of all, what is the message? The message is we can get you 8.4 to 12% more for your home selling with our program versus selling the traditional way. Would that resonate with sellers in your area of the country? And I would say, boy, if you don't think so, I think you're crazy because that's what every seller wants. Are the leads going to continue to get better and better and better because of that? Absolutely. That's the real message that they give, and you're going to get more people as they see it more. The brand becomes more recognized. They'll go and they'll put in their information when they're ready to sell their home.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just for clarity, Tom, the 15 to 20% that you mentioned that we should be moving toward in terms of a percentage is from lead to closing. Is that right? Do I have that right?
Correct. What we're shooting for in the beginning is 15% lead to listing, 12% lead to closing. But Phoenix, who's been doing this, their agents are a lot more experienced. They've been doing it for many more years. They're pushing that 20% range on closing. So that's where we all want to get to.
Well, I mean, we talk about leads and listing leads specifically as the foundation of leads, listings, leverage, right? And so really combining all of those, you're generating a lead, it's a listing lead, and you're getting the leverage of the program, the additional money for the sellers based on the independent studies. That's leverage in and of itself, right?
Yes. If you're thinking about getting into the ad contribution program, you should. I think there's some misunderstanding about 72 Sold that they think it's either a training or a lead generation program. And it is neither one of those. It is a home selling program. And the reason why I say that is the only way 72 Sold makes money is on the referral fees from the leads we get to when we close that house on a sale and get paid, they get their referral fee of 25%. That's how they make money. The training comes into play because he wants us to be able to handle those leads that they generate from spending money on TV and be able to turn those into closings. And then, of course, the $1,500 that you spend, 100% of that goes to paying the people that do the commercials and for the commercials that 72 Sold does. None of that goes into profitability for 72 Sold. That's just to generate the TV ads and the marketing to be able to get us the referrals that we need. So keep that in mind. It's a home selling program. That's what it is.
I appreciate you sharing that, Tom. If you partner with someone who has a legitimate vested interest in you selling homes, that's different than just getting training, just getting leads, both of which are good things. But for everyone to win, those homes need to sell. And if I'm a real estate agent, I appreciate a partner that wants my listings to sell, right? What would you say to any Keller Williams agents that are kind of on the fence about the value of 72 Sold, whether that's the $72 a month program or the National Ad Fund? Like, from your experience thus far as a Keller Williams agent specifically, how's it helped you, and what would you share that might help someone make a great decision for what it could do to their business?
So from my standpoint, it's helped me in so many ways. First of all, I'll just say confidence. when I'm sitting in front of a seller and I am presenting this program to them, I know this is going to make them more money. My work here doing this program is going to help these sellers get to their end goal, and that I'm a very important part of that because I'm the one who makes the program happen. So there's a ton of confidence that I've gotten when I go into those listing appointments versus when I used to go in and I'm trying to think, well, how am I going to impress them about how many sales I've got, even though I've only been in the business 2 or 3 or 4 years, and the other people have been there for 20 or plus years. The second thing that's been amazing out of it that I didn't anticipate was 3% commissions are absolutely turned into a no-brainer. When they ask you, what's your commission going to be? And your answer is, well, I'm going to get you 8.4 to 12% more on average for your house. My commission is 3%. When you're talking to them and they're going, oh my gosh, yeah, if he can get me 8.4 to 12% more for my home, am I willing to pay 3% to him versus 2% or a discounter at maybe 1%? Heck yeah, it's a no-brainer. So the commission conversation has gone from something I struggled with to it's a couple, 2 sentences and we move on and we always get our 3%. I don't have to go out and prospect all day long. I can work on my 72 sold program and get houses listed and sold. And I tell you guys, if you jump into this program and do it, just do the $72 a month to begin with. You'll be amazed at what you learn and how much better realtor you become by doing this program.
What do you envision for the future of 72 Sold and the opportunities that it brings our Keller Williams agents? What are you most excited about when you think about that?
Okay, and I think this is a great question. And I apologize, I'm going to approach it from more the negative side, but it's a very positive outcome to it. And that is, I think realtors across the country are under siege and they don't even know it. You've got the moral lawsuit, MOEHRL, and that's the lawsuit where sellers, if they win, which we'll find out sometime this year, if they win, the buyer's agent commission is going to be decoupled away from the seller, and the buyer's agent is going to have to get that from the buyer. If that occurs, which it sure looks like it could, I don't know many buyers that even, especially first-time buyers, but I don't know many buyers at all that are going to want to pay 3%. So it's going to make the listing side of the equation that much more important as we go forward. Because then not only do you get the 3% on the list commission, but then if you do have to go discounted on the buy commission because they don't want to pay 3%, hey, it's all gravy after you get the first 3%, right? Now, the second thing that I think people are overlooking is Zillow. Zillow did their iBuyer, and that failed dramatically, which in my opinion was great. But everyone thinks Zillow's not after the agent's commission because of that, and that is not true. Zillow has turned into these premier agents. They've gotten rid of a bunch of agents, turned them into premier agents, and now they're after the list side because they see the moral lawsuit as well. And I guarantee you guys, even you guys that are out there that are premier agents, when they get to a certain point over the next year, 2 years, or 3 years, they're going to salary for all those premier agents. And it won't be a salary like we make as real estate agents. And then you got companies like Rocket Mortgage. I don't know if people are looking at what they're doing. $7,000 rebate to the buyer, $10,000 rebate to the seller. You get onto their website and it says, click here to get a Rocket Mortgage agent to take advantage of the $10,000 and the $7,000. I tell you guys, the real estate agents are under siege, and you need a program like this on the list side where you can go out and make a difference for sellers and make a difference for yourself by being on that listing side and being able to help sellers accomplish their goals. And if you do this, you're going to be able to compete against the Zillows and the Rocket Mortgages. But I tell you, I think people that are just going to keep plodding along thinking, well, it's never changed over 50 years, it's not going to change here again. I think we're wrong if we're thinking that. 72 Sold hands it to you. Greg Haig even does a listing presentation that you can actually take in on your iPad. And if you don't feel comfortable do the listing presentation, Greg Haig The same guy on TV does the listing presentation for your seller. It's fantastic. He does everything for you. All the tools are there to make it successful. You need to be in on this if you're really serious about being a great Keller Williams real estate agent, in my opinion.
Can't thank you enough for your time and all you're doing. It's exciting to watch your success in general and with 72 sold over the last 8 months. And we're grateful to be in business for you and that you would take the time to encourage those that are still wondering if this could be a really great opportunity for them. And I think we both believe it can be. So appreciate your time, Tom.
You bet. Back at you. Thanks for having me on today.